All right, Shalom, Mr. Brother Barzal from GMS Atlanta. I want to start out by giving our praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to all the Akim out there pushing the word in sincerity and in truth. And I just want to do a response video, you know, on the rebuke on Yaradone. I just want to, it's not mainly going to be according to this nigga, you know, it's not pertaining to him. It's really just getting a lot of things straight, you know, with the whole situation that occurred with us brothers in Atlanta, which, you know, majority of, you know, everybody knows about the situation, you know, brothers in the, you know, the camps, scoffers, demons, you know, fucking outsiders, men that got kicked out of our camps personally. You know, everybody has some type of information, you know. I've seen plenty of guys on the comment board that I personally knew that was in the camp. They got kicked out, you know, multiple guys, you know. When that video got threw up, you know, men came out the woodwork. You wouldn't even think they had a YouTube account, but it's showing you these scoffers and these demons is definitely watching and waiting, you know, to see what's gonna happen, you know, with brothers and things of that nature. But I, you know, like I said, I just want to do an examination because, you know, you have a lot of people that's really saying, well, if I was in that situation, it wouldn't have went down like that. You know, I wouldn't have gave out nothing. I would have been woke up to that. First off, anybody that was in the situation would have did the exact same thing. Being honest. First off, when we first met Yaradone, Yaradone had over 10 years experience, which that tells a lot. Us coming in the truth, some brothers knowing about the truth for a year, some brothers knowing about the truth for a couple of months, certain brothers, you know, knowing about the truth for 2 years, you know, still trying to, you know, basically learn how to walk, you know, and this guy, you know, basically was manipulating certain things to tailor to himself, you know, and when you have 10 years, over 10 years experience, which, you know, outside of the apostles and elders and the men, you know, in New York, outside of that, what right now is probably 15 plus, you know, experience outside of, you know, the elders and apostles in New York. He has more experience than dang near everybody in you know, the truth, so to speak, you know. He because he came from Zabak camp. He came from a camp. He was from, you know, the old school, so to speak. He was around when a lot of stuff transpired, so he basically picked up on a lot of scriptures, you know, minor scriptures, major scriptures. You know, he knows how to swing the sword. He's very meticulous with his teaching practices, so to speak. And us on the back end, a year knowing about the truth, still, you know, picking up the sword, still examining scripture, still, you know, learning, you know, first and foremost, who are we coming up under? We're coming up under, of course, Yaradone. Of course, we're coming up under the apostles and elders, but we don't have contact with the elders and apostles, you know. We didn't have any contact with brothers in other camps to speak about these situations, you know, for them to even get to the point that they was at. It was actually years before we actually met the apostles and elders, and it was actually years before, you know, this situation had to be, you know, brought to the forefront, you know. And I wanted to say this too, because at the end of the day, this is, you know, spiritual politics, man. You know, everything deals with politics. Say for instance, you know, like I said, a lot of guys, well, if that was me, I would have been did something about it. No, you wouldn't. Because say for instance, you was in our shoes a year into, what you would have did? Called up to New York? You don't know the apostles. You would have sent a message to New York. If you would have did that, first off, that's breaking rank. Because the apostles would have dealt with it. They would have been like, who is this brother? Of course, they would have went down the ladder, examined it. You know, first and foremost, they're going to hit up the camp leader. You know, they're going to hit up the camp leader and figure out what's what. You know, and for the most part, Yaradone being Yaradone, he's going to weave through everything. He's going to weave through things. He's going to justify it through certain scriptures. Well, did he come to me first? Matthew 18 says, come to that brother. If not, then you have to bring a multitude of witnesses. And after that fact, then you have to take it up top. So he broke rank doing that. So everything else is null and void. So that's a clear case right there. Now, I know that for a fact because that occurred before. This situation with Yaradone, this isn't the first time that basically we voiced out about this guy. The first time, basically he slipped clean, you know, after, we basically had a case and different things occurred. We talked to a couple of brothers about the situation. We took it up top. We didn't even talk to Yaradone because we knew that he was snaking, and we know how he's very, very active with the scriptures, how he knows how to maneuver and basically tap any scripture to justify itself. And when that situation happened, it didn't work out in our favor. We kind of, came out with the L. I'm not going to go into details because it's not really, anybody's, business, so to speak. It's just, I'm just bringing everything out for the record, excuse me, And then, after that fact, which I was the main, brother, so to speak, that I actually called Yaradone. It was me and another brother. His name was Malak. You know, we actually called Yaradone after we talked to an elder, and we told him basically, you kicked out the camp, man. You gotta step, bro. The wickedness that you did, you did this, that, and the other. Like I said, I'm not gonna go into the full details, but the certain things that he did, like brothers already know certain things, getting shoes and this, that, and the other, and we basically discussed the whole matter. Certain brothers had certain things against him, certain charges against him, and after everything was said and done, we was like, we don't want to be with him, be around him no more. He tried to take the low and said, Salakia, the scriptures say anything I restore, everything back in its fold. I was wrong for certain things I wasn't wrong for, this, that, and the other. Certain things, like I said, he came with his justifications and different things like that. And, long story short, it was like, from up top, it was basically, y'all brothers work that out. Y'all need to communicate. Y'all need to clean it up because it's a lot of sloppy business going on down there. So we was like, okay, well, we're going to deal with it according to how the apostles and elders dealt with it. What we going to say? Oh, nah, we're not going to deal with it like that. Yaradone, we don't want to be around Yaradone. Kick him out. We don't have that right. We don't have that passage to speak on certain things like that. Just like I said, it's politics, man. You got to deal with certain things in this time and let cases build up, and you got a lot of guys in these different camps talking shit, not talking about, of course, the brothers in the camp. I'm talking about these guys that broke off from us talking shit, talking about, I've been, knowing this guy was wicked. I'll be honest, I've been knowing this guy was wicked. He had certain things about him, but was it me to drop the gavel on him? No, I'm not the judge, because first and foremost, what could I have done? Grabbed a couple of brothers and broke off? First off, you got beautiful brothers in our camp. It's certain men that was caught up by Yaradone's spider web through his subtlety, and my disposition was, I'm not going to just bounce. First off, I honor the apostles and elders. I know that this is the truth. I'm not going to let one man spoil my perception of how I feel about the knowledge, I love the brothers that's amongst me. I know brothers and sincere. They coming in the truth for a sincere reason to work for salvation. But we have this one guy with a super abundance of experience that's above us. So now we gotta deal with the situation. And like these guys saying, basically, y'all ain't warned nobody. First off, I talked to multiple men about Yaradone. I didn't say this guy's wicked. He's a demon. Get the fuck away from him. Of course, because I didn't even do that. I was just telling brothers, keep your eyes solid. Watch, man. Even in this truth, you gotta be a watchman. I just want to say that on a side note, you gotta watch, everybody around you. But I was telling them brothers, man, watch Yaradone. He got certain funny ways about him. Just keep your eye on this guy, man. And I told certain brothers, that was, dealing with him financially, because he'll play the role like he be needing money here and there. Like, man, don't give that guy no fucking money, man. He ain't got a job. Just don't give him no money. Whatever, man. Now, of course, like he came to me a couple of times because that's like I said, this is a sticky situation that was dealt for years. And he'll play the apostles and elders card. The apostle said, you know, you brothers gotta help me out. I'm messed up and I'm in a messed up state where you brothers gotta help me out. You know, and he said the elder said that you got a right to ask brothers for money, this, that, and the other. So it's like, okay, I'm in a I'm basically stuck in the middle. I gotta kind of yank brothers away, but I still gotta make sure that my name is not in the midst of a lot of stuff, because there was certain situations where I talked to certain brothers and my name got in the midst. They didn't deal with it, in the wisest way. They actually went to him about certain situations, and it turned around and it got, back to me. And, basically it would seem like I was murmuring. I was talking shit about this guy in the background. So it was like, okay, now I see that, certain brothers, they really got a heavy, respect for this guy, to the point where they're not even going to listen to the truth, certain things are the truth. So, and the individuals, that did that, they got cast out or whatnot. But like I said, it's a sticky situation, and brothers, I know from how it was presented that it may seem like we was just getting our asses kicked, like he walking up and he just digging in our pockets, like what you got on it, you know what I'm saying, what you got on my 40, so to speak. It wasn't nothing like that, man. It was way more subtle. It was way more complex. It was way more so-called political. He dealt with ranking systems. He got 10 years over experience than we had. Like I said, if a brother been in the truth, and this individual been in the truth for 10 plus years more than you, that says a lot. You can't avoid the facts. That says a lot. He knows scriptures that you don't know. He knows brothers that you don't know. He has contact information. You're coming up under, and then you're coming up under him. And I don't want to make this a rant, but I just want to paint the picture so brothers can see all perspectives, because we're building up to be judges and rulers and priests. And the thing about judgment, you got to know the whole matter. That's why even when you look at these court cases, some court cases be hours on end, hours upon hours, and witnesses, examination, which witnesses was actually false, which witnesses is actually true, which perspectives to really go off of to really get the picture fully painted, to see how, whether it was a crime scene or whatnot, how the crime scene actually went. And then you take all the elements and the evidence, and you absorb it to envision what actually occurred. And a lot of individuals, they're hearing it, but still the video that was brought out, that was just the cases, case by case, just dropping case by case, and that's judgment. But that's not the full walk. That the walk of it was totally different. So I just go into a couple of scriptures. Like I said, I don't want to make it a rant, but I had to clarify a couple of things. And Lord willing, I'll probably go into a couple of other things, because that wasn't really just the fullness of it, but that was just a little bit of of the whole situation, because this was a situation that transpired for years. So I just start with this, James 1:19. Wherefore, my brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. And in this situation, this is a situation where we had to be swift to hear, because at the same time, we couldn't say F this guy. We don't want to hear nothing he's saying. We got to hear his perspectives, learn his perspectives at the same time, and see. You got to learn, hey, you want to take out a snake, you got to know how it moves, man. You got to see where its strength lies. You got to learn its defenses. When you see a mongoose or an animal, taking out a snake, they obviously know how swift that snake is, because snakes have poison. Mongoose take out poisonous snakes, but they know the distance to take so that they don't get bit. They know when the strike comes to to back up, and they know how to get behind their head, and catch them at that certain strike, so that they could kill them. If they get bit by that poison, then they out. So, like I said, you got to be swift to hear, slow to speak. So a lot of things, you can't just jump up and speak. Yaradone, you a fucking demon. Nah, you can't deal like that. Even though certain offenses occurred your way, you got to be slow to speak and slow to wrath. You got to be slow to anger, you know, because this is a situation, like I said, where we was in the back end, and we had to deal with things slowly. We had to let time build itself. We had to let the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shah ultimately clean up the situation. But you gotta build a case, And a lot of these guys that's talking shit, if you guys was in politics, man, or in any so-called other thing where you have to examine and deal with situations, you would fucking suck at it, man. I'm gonna say it straight. You would fucking suck at it because you don't know how to be slow. You don't know how to be patient. You don't know how to let cases build up for itself. Like when you watch, movies like with Nino Brown, so to speak. That's why you always have a man in the inside, because they want to build a case. Sometimes, you have certain people on the outside know that he's nickel and diamond. They could slap the cuffs on him, but that shit's not gonna stick. What he gonna do? A couple days, if that. Man, these type of guys be paying off the police, be paying off the judges, paying off everybody in the realm that actually has you know, that actually has connection with them. They're gonna pay them off, and in most cases they're charming individuals. In most cases, they'll take their funds and invest towards whether it's the city, put certain things into other government, groups, so that they could basically hush money, just to keep their themselves unscathed. So that's why in certain cases they'll have an inside man that'll move real close to them, to build up as much evidence and wait on that one big drop, man. That one big drop of cash, because that's even that happened on Nino Brown, New Jack City, excuse me, and that happens on a lot of movies. They went on that one big drop, man. Enough evidence, tangible evidence, to drop the gavel. Now, if they would have tried to drop him for the nickel and dime shit, none of that shit would have stuck. That type of stuff. You first off, you don't even drop something on somebody with that type of somebody in that position with nickel and dime shit, because now they know if they get locked up, now they know that the boys is on them, so to speak. They already know that you got certain people in the inside, and all they're gonna do is recalibrate their movements. They're gonna play the background. They're gonna have certain men up above them. They're gonna make sure they might jump out the state, and really take a rest phase, so to speak, and have certain people operate under their name, so to speak. Or some people shut down, reinvent themselves in certain cities. Take a whole, take a hiatus, for, so to speak, because they know them boys is cracking down on them. Refigure out, pay off certain people, talk to who they need to talk to, figure out what they need to figure out. In some cases, they'll clap certain people in the government. Just in the name of keeping themselves clean, so that they won't have to do that time, and they can always do the crime, so to speak. So that's why I say, excuse me, I gotta grab my charger. Laptop is gonna go dead. Excuse me. So that's why I say, it's way more complex than that. A lot of people trying to throw the energy out that we some simple ass niggas. Our discernment skills is lacking. We just fucking off and allowing, this guy to just basically hunt our pockets, and rape us for everything we got, while we, just ain't got shit in our pockets and we ain't doing nothing. We see the evidence of him having shoes and different things like that. We see these different people doing videos about him, but we still haven't made a move on him. Like I said, it's way more complex than that, man. It's way more complex than that. So, like I said, slow to speak, slow to wrath. So I'm gonna jump down to. Well, I'm gonna jump to Sirach 8. This is Sirach 8 and 14. Go not to law with the judge, for they will judge him according to his honor. So the scriptures tell you that don't go to law with a judge. First off, a judge is somebody in a prominent position that deal with case by case situations. You can't go to law with an individual with like that. They know the law. They embody the law, so to speak. They grew up knowing the law they dealt with. They have a superabundance of experience being judges. And you trying to, learn a couple of things and drop the gavel on the man. You can't do that, man. You have, and in cases like that, that's why you have to have the ultimate judge, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, step in and deal with the situation. Because this is a commandment. Scriptures say, "Go not to law with a judge," for the exact reason that they will judge for him according to his honor. Because a judge has a lot of merits. He's in a prominent position. He puts other people on to be judges. So who's going to speak out or speak against a judge? And if they do speak against the judge, what they going to do? In most cases, they'll give them, administrative leave, so to speak, like a police officer. When a police officer kills or do certain things, they go through administrative leaves. They get paid while they sit down, because it's all about the badges. It's what you carry with your name. Your brand. And another person that's coming up that's looking, to slap cuffs on you, that's, like the scriptures say, what manner of man is this? A poor man, somebody that's spiritually rich, that's been around a lot, and a poor man, people look at him like, who the hell is it? This guy, I don't know this guy on YouTube. I don't know this guy. He's he doesn't have enough wisdom. He doesn't have enough knowledge. He's not spewing out enough scriptures. His discernment skills isn't there to really come against an individual like this, because it's all about the honor. Because you will have in some cases, certain people will have, respect, for individuals due to their walk. Now, of course, a lot of people say that, well, that's respect to persons. In certain cases, it can be respect to persons because, in the scriptures, you had certain people that had respect to persons, due to their position, such as Eli's sons, but that's why the Most High himself has to step in, because we had respect unto Yaradone, but when we started seeing a lot of things that he was doing, we seen, that respect was being spoiled. Respect goes back to look back, read meaning back, spect to look. So when we first met him, we seen that he knew a abundance of scriptures. We seen how he kicks flavor, so to speak. That he's bad with it, and a lot of people actually love his teaching style. He has a style, and he has wittiness, charisma, sarcasm, all these different things. Niggas love entertainment, man. So they like all the things, the goodies that come with his teaching. And when you like I said, speak out against certain things like that, especially out of season, out of time, out of the time of the Most High, then the gun can be pointed towards you. And that happened to me. It happened to a couple of us brothers. It happened to our camp, for coming against this guy. So, like I said, it's way more detailed. Anybody, really nobody could say if they was in a situation how they would have dealt with it. If anybody was in a situation, you can only take two routes. Either you could push forward and and trust in the spirit of the Most High to clip this guy, or you could turn back and break off and just say fuck it, give up. But what the scriptures tell you in Hebrews, we're not of them that turn back, because we believe in the savings of the soul, and that's what we truly believe. We truly believe that Yahweh Shem Yahushua, is dealing with the apostles and the elders, and that is still what we believe. And the brothers around us is sincere brothers. We just under this certain, we was under this certain clown, so we had to let the Most High spirit rev up, and we had to build a case. In certain cases, you gotta let shit boil over. A lot of people all struck and startled by the amount of money that certain men got hit for. Hey, Most High had to build a case in certain situations. Most High has to build a case for people to see. Because say, for instance, We taking this guy to case because he took us because one brother got hit for $300-400. A lot of men, they would belittle that situation. They'd be like, well, that's not really, nothing. You know what I'm saying? He could recompense that, and he at the same time, before judgment is counsel. In the counsel, that's something that he could just pay back and say, all right, Salakia, I did this, that, and that wrong. I'll pay that back. That was messed up on my end. It really wasn't like that. But I make sure that it's cleaned up, and it would have been, clean hands, and he would have been back on the highways and byways like it's nothing, and he would have still, kept his position and kept his praise, so to speak. But like I said, it's the spirit of the Lord that has to step in with these situations, man. Nobody can push the hand of the Lord. You can't say, I want it to go this way. If that's the case, you got the spirit of Judas Iscariot. Judas Iscariot was looking to push the hand of the Lord. Here it is, you got the disciples being defrauded by the Romans, thousands of dollars being defrauded by the Romans, and you got, Yahushua above them, spiritual power, he basically, they see the power that the Lord has. And Judas Iscariot, he sees that too. But what did he want to do? He wanted to push the hand of the Lord to take out the Romans. See, you got a lot of guys that just self-willed as hell, man. That's not slow to speak. That's not slow to wrath. That just read the scriptures and shoot them out. Shoot out a barrage of scriptures. But when things actually, transpire, they don't know how to, deal with these situations. A lot of men in our camp, that was in our camp, situations like this occurred, and they just got all, butt hurt. They got fucked up over the situation, and they basically was like, this truth doesn't exist. This isn't the truth. This can't be the truth when situations like this occur. But this is the truth. And the scriptures say that these situations would occur. It said it's going to be ravenous wolves. That's what Paul warned about in Acts the 20th chapter. Raven and wolves don't always come in the back door. Sometimes they at the top. They at the top of the pyramid, so to speak. Which this guy, Yaradone, he was a prime example. Over 10 years experience, he built from the ground up. He built the camp, in Georgia. He started off with a couple of guys, and it was building them up in the spirit, coming under the apostles and the elders, and you see what it is now. So he was the establisher, so to speak, through the spirit. Of course, it starts with the apostles and elders because he was coming under that energy, but the state itself, he was the establisher. Every situation isn't the same. Some brothers have great captains and leaders, elders above them. Certain men have got them snakes and wolves, and had snakes and wolves above them. Some men don't have that safety net where they have, their elder actually, elder of their state actually looking out for them. You have certain men that's looking to make merchandise of men. So you have to, in the spirit, you just got to wax patient. You have to actually exercise the scriptures that you're actually reading and figure out how to deal with the situation in the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. And this is Sirach 1:23. A patient man will tear for a time, and afterward joy shall spring up unto him. So, in a time when you dealing with, these type of individuals, you have to be long suffering. You're going to tear for a time. You're going to be pissed off. You're going to be angry. You're going to, catch spirits. Like this guy catching spirits. You're going to catch spirits. You're going to be wrongfully accused, wrongfully framed. That occurred to me. But did that, alter my perception of the truth? Hell no. I never was angry towards any brothers outside of this clown, man. Other men, they wax impatient. They started to, be hasty with certain things, and they just gave out. They basically stopped believing, and they went back into the world. But these situations, man, you just got to deal in the spirit, man. This is a spiritual military. When you watch movies like Platoon, you know, you got a wicked general over you. You gotta build up, man. You gotta build up and build a case. Ultimately, you gotta wait on Yahweh Shemi Shai to deal with these situations. But knowing it's the spirit, you gotta build up and get just men around you. You know what I'm saying? And figure out who's with you and figure out who's against you. And try to convince the ones that's actually under that spell, to break off, so to speak. Break out of that bullshit that he's coming with. Because the scriptures say we believe in the savings of the soul. That's what it's really about. And when you got the men that you got, and you know that everything is ironclad and everything is the unit is dense. Everybody's eyes is directed towards the same common denominator. And then you frag them. You frag them out and you put a better individual in its stead. That's what the Most High did with Saul. And I just want to say this for the record. You can't put yourself in other people's situations. You can't say, if I was of the house of Saul, I would have broke off and I would have been of the house of David. You can't say that. Because it's ultimately the spirit of the Lord, Yahweh Shemi Shai. It's all about the mercy and the Most High's will. That's why Scripture says, let thy will be done in heaven as it is in earth. You got certain guys in other camps that's actually sincere. Talking about, IUIC and ISUPK. They bugged out for following those different individuals. But the spirit may have it where they break off. In due time, they're just under a wicked authority. You can't really say, okay, if I was in IUIC, I would have been broke off. To a certain degree, you don't know. In the spirit, of course, we would all love to say that, of course, because what we know and where the Most High established and pushed us. And it is certain individuals that did do that. But all situations aren't the same. Hey, Paul, when Paul was a Pharisee, the Most High had to step to him personally and knock him off the horse. If the Yahweh didn't step to him personally, would he still be a Pharisee? Yes, he would. So it's all about the Most High's will. It's all about the Most High coming and stepping in and dealing with these situations. And I had this scripture in 2 Chronicles, the 21st chapter. I'm honestly not going to go into it because it wasn't a good application from the sequence that I'm actually going into. It would kind of, backtrack. But that's the main point. Like I said, these situations, you got to be slow to speak, slow to wrath, be patient, ultimately humble yourself, pray to Yahweh Shemi Shai, and wait for Yahweh Shemi Shai to open up them doors and deal with those situations. All right? Because it's all about the Most High's will. That's why we send up the Abanawa. Let thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. It's not our will, So I want to end it by giving all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom Makim.